So let's get into this whole Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion thing. So everything went down. The verdict is in, and Tory Lanez has been found guilty of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. Now, Lanez, whose government name is Daystar Peterson, was found guilty of all three felony firearm counts. And we're gonna break those down because apparently I feel like a lot of people, y'all been it kind of been going through one ear and out the other in regards to the charges, because y'all been so caught up in the fact of did he shoot her, did he not shoot her? Oh, she was doing all this other stuff, she being messy. Y'all were caught up in the soap opera, but a lot of y'all was not paying attention to the charges. So the charges are discharging a firearm with gross negligence, guilty of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, and guilty of carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, all which they proved in the case, hence why he's guilty. Now, the Canadian rapper pled not guilty on November of 2020 and faces up to 22 years and 8 months in prison, along with subsequent deportation. The sentencing hearing will take place on January 27th. Right off prison, so he's probably gonna be sitting up in a jail cell until his sentencing. So shortly after the verdict, Daystar's father, Sunstar, child, we don't get these goddamn names, but anyway, we're gonna continue. Sunstar Peterson and Tory's stepmother, who had on that big ass afro wig trying to look like a bootleg Angie Stone, shared their outrage and even called out Jay-Z. Now, singer reporter Megan Cunniff took to social media to reveal what had happened. She said Tory Lanez's father stood up, yes, and screamed, "This is a wicked system." He screamed at the prosecutors that they are evil and they know exactly what they did here. His stepmother stood up screaming and yelling. Father was yelling about Rock Nation. Of course, she's going to co-sign because what if she step out of line and be like, "But you know, your son was wrong." He probably going to smack the shit out of her because we clearly see, based on Sunstar's behavior, we see why Daystar act the way he does. There was no accountability taken from anything that Daystar has done in this entire trial. And then on top of that, if you listen to his new album, he snitched on himself. He clearly broke down the whole situation of him in the jacuzzi, trying to get up in Kylie's coochie. And Megan got mad, even though she was technically, Megan had pushed Tory off on the friend who she's no longer friends with. Because then you want to, when you get drunk, you get messy. And then you want to go around trying to hunt somebody else's man that you said you didn't want. But then you're getting jealous because he's trying to hunch up on Kylie. And you ever know about the Kardashians, they get passed around like a goddamn basketball. You know, Pimp Mama Chris always, you know, she told her daughter as well, especially when it comes to that black dick. So then Tory Lanez was remanded on the spot, let out in handcuffs by sheriff's deputies. There were 6 total in the courtroom, 2 at the door and 4 behind Lanez, and there was quite a scene when they tried to get Lanez's father and stepmother under control. One woman in the gallery held up her hand as Tory's father was screaming about Rock Nation and wicked injustice, repeating, "In the name of Jesus." Deputies were forcing them all out into the hallway and telling the gallery he had to stay seated. Well, the gallery, we had to stay seated. One woman turned and looked at the reporter sitting behind her, including me, and said, "Jay-Z is a bitch. Report that. Jay-Z is a bitch." And so here's the thing. Because if y'all want, y'all can go over to my website, chrisavalon.com. Y'all can get the whole breakdown. And I want to give a shout out to the black media people, the black bloggers, and all the stuff that was in the courtroom, including Armand Wiggins. He definitely did his thing in regards of reporting a lot of the news. I know a lot of people, a lot of the black bloggers, like the Shade Room and Neighborhood Talk and all of them, they were using a lot of his footage because he was there on the scene in the courtroom for the last week. He said he wasn't there for the 2 weeks the trial was going on, but he was there for the last week. He was there early, and he was talking about, and he goes in at length about the racism that he was dealing with from the judicial people that was in there, where it was the prosecutor would talk only to the white media, but when the black folks came over, he would scurry away. So there is a lot of that goes on. And the thing that hurts my spirit about coverage, especially when it comes to white media, y'all love to get up in there and y'all want the dibs on our shit for our entertainment, but y'all don't want to respect the black bloggers and the black influencers that go up in there and try to be fair and do the job that needs to be done. And I don't remember the many other black influencers that was in the room, but I know Armand Wiggins did his thing in regards of being fair with this trial, and I've been trying to be as fair as I can too. was saying this. Yeah, Megan was wrong for how she reacted the day that when they all went to Kylie's house and was punching. Well, they was all drinking, and she was in there making the nachos in the kitchen, and then he was in the jacuzzi with old girl Kylie, and then Megan's getting mad. And there's a song on his album where he basically spills all of this, reveals all of this. So when y'all out here calling people liars and this, that, and the third, he put it in a song. He has a whole album that's dedicated to this whole situation. So at what point are we going to hold the people who do the crimes accountable? And I feel bad because at the end of the day, nobody really wins in this case. Megan is constantly going to get dragged by the misogynists. And not just the misogynists, I'm talking about men, but the girls too, because there was a lot of you women out here that was dogging her as well. Because y'all love Tory. Y'all like short niggas with fucking Beijing in their damn hair? And wearing 2 pieces and a biscuit on top of their head? No. Trash. He always been trash. And then on top of that, he has a reputation of inciting violence on people. Didn't he hit August Alsina at one point? So at what point do we hold people accountable? Y'all did the same thing with the baby. Y'all look the other way because y'all entertained by the shenanigans. But there comes a point in time when you want to know something. When you do ish, the ish gonna catch up with you eventually. You're gonna pay on the front end or the back end, but eventually you're gonna pay. That's just the way the world works. And on top of that, you a whole immigrant in the United States, and his father up in here trying to talk shit about us. Excuse you? Y'all can take y'all 4'9" asses and go back to fucking Canada if that's the way y'all want to act. Because y'all not gonna come up in the United States and try to talk shit about us. Recoup our coins because you want to be a rapper, a mediocre one at that. And I think that's what it was. That the father just looks the other way because, you know, my son famous. He taking care of us. But at some point, we got to hold our people accountable. I'm sorry. So he was wrong on that, and then was wrong on that. And you want to know something? I'm going to give Jason Lee his props in a second, but first I got to read her. Because this heifer had the nerve to go on social media and post this damn tweet, or was it an Instagram post? It was something, but it was stupid. So you sitting up in here saying you was the most neutral person out of everybody in the media, which is a lie, number one, because you seem to think you're the only one that's out here doing shit for black media, when you're not, because a lot of us is doing it. To me, I always feel like you have an agenda whenever you try to do things and weaponize black media or hide behind it to justify your BS. But we clearly see you not for black. You'll go on mediocre ass shows. I ain't gonna mention who they are. Y'all seen them do the interviews recently. But anyway, because I'm going a little off the tangent. Let's bring it back. Hey, Sailor Mermaid. What was we have the post, right? Where Lipo Lee had to fix his damn mouth to say this foolishness. You knew exactly what I was talking about. See, production trying to tell me not to shade. So I ain't mention no names. But like I said, y'all know who he did the interview with. But anyway, he wasn't the only one. There's a chick with no neck he did one with too. But anyway, so he wrote, I was the only person who stayed neutral, regardless if I was talking to him, her, or y'all. He deserved his day in court. She deserved closure. And today the verdict was guilty. And that's true. He did deserve his day in court. It would have been nice if he would have taken a stand, but we know why he didn't take the stand, because he was guilty. So he didn't want to come out and admit that he had the gun and he was popping off the gun and the shrapnel got in her foot and all the other stuff. Like y'all trying to reenact scenes from fucking Harlem Nights. Yeah, we know what the shooting in the foot, all that stuff, dance bitch. We know that's from Harlem Nights. Y'all not even original. Shout out to Eddie Murphy and Della Reese. May she rest in peace. Anyway, so he said, this photo is not shade to Tory. It's shade to everyone who said Meg was a liar. Shade towards mainstream news who attacked black media while profiting off a black woman's pain. And to everyone online who attacked and called Meg a liar, making her want to kill herself. I pray she's getting closure. So someone named Lay Breezy wrote, so if Tory was not guilty, then would you have posted a pic of y'all together? And he goes, yeah, would. Meaning, neutral my ass. You're playing this game up. It's very RuPaul's Drag Race. Oh, so we're going to take 3 different cuts of who won. Of the winners, the top 3 girls. We're going to film individually. Oh, and the winner is, and the winner is, and the winner is. So you vote one of those. So if the trial would have went each other way, you was going to post a picture and post some fake ass post like you pro-black. Like you pro this one and you pro that. But no, you pro-fake. Because if you were standing behind being neutral, you would have explained it in the same way that I explained it, the way Armand explained it in his story, and a bunch of other people who are actually neutral and not just trying to use this as an opportunity to promote themselves. So that's where he got it all the way fucked up. But if we got that NBC clip of the case, we're going to play that and we're going to come back. Run the clip. Oh, so I thought you said we had something. Okay. So it's this, which basically I just read. So, okay. So overall, I have to say this. There's no real winners in this case. Tory's going to jail. He did something stupid. You're carrying an unlicensed firearm. You don't know how to control your anger. So you have a lot of your behaviors misogynistic. I did feel bad for his little sister though. I guess that's the child that Sunstar had with the stepmother. I felt bad for the little girl because I saw her in the footage that emerged online from Armand when he filmed with his phone, and she was like the way they doing her little brother and this and the other. I felt the child's pain, but I feel like the child doesn't understand because you're going by what your adults, the parents, and all this stuff is saying around you. So you don't understand what's going on. So you're just picking up what they're saying and you're running with it. But like I said, at the end of the day, Tory has to take responsibility for his actions and his behavior. And this is going to be the result. Now, Megan wasn't the one that pulled all of this for him to go to jail or go to trial. This wasn't even her. She was going to lie. And then he went all over the black blogs and tried to discredit her. He got ahead. He started talking all this shit about her, why we're at where we're at. If he would have just left it alone, and then on top of that, let's not forget about the 1 million blackmail, where you try to keep her quiet. And then, so I feel like in this point, Megan is the red herring in this whole thing. But this is basically California versus Daystar Peterson. That's what this was. Because LA has their gun laws, they don't play with that. They really don't. They will throw the book at you. They don't care who it is. They're hardcore with the gun laws.